Vacuum and Sewing's live stream for Tuesday, the 1st of August. Where is the summer going? We had fun this morning looking at some of the technical questions that you ladies had asked regarding the giveaway, and some of them were, really good technical questions. So my comment to Jeannie was that we would, maybe spend a couple minutes this morning answering a couple of those questions. Even though it was A1, not part of the giveaway. So I'm just going to run through really fast to, see if there are some questions that I think are super pertinent. And, we'll basically answer some additional questions. And maybe we'll make this kind of a more regular feature, as far as, what we do, maybe once a month, we'll just have like a technical question Friday or something like that. We want to thank everybody for the tremendous support for Kimber Bell Day. We hope everybody had a great Kimber Bell Day. And, we couldn't believe that we were one of their grand winners.
We couldn't believe it.
And we couldn't believe the love and support we had even during the live,
Which makes me go, we won because of you, because you were channeling your inner support for A1 winning. And I never win anything. So a bunch of people had emailed me and gone, you said you were going to win. And my first thought was, I didn't mean it though, because I never win anything.
Well, now you're one of those people that says, I never win anything.
I never win anything, but now I can't say that anymore. Now I say, I'm super lucky. I'm going to win, and I'm going to mean it, because I didn't mean it. That was just what we say, right? Because you're trying to be positive.
So, and listen, I am cherry picking questions here that I feel like I can answer.
Wait, let's talk about that a little more. So when we get it, do you guys want, I don't know what's coming. Do you want me to
That's what everybody
it?
asks, is everybody's like, what did you win?
Yeah. Should we just save it for the live feed and open it up and unbox it? Do you guys want to see what's in the box?
We can do an unboxing video.
Yeah. And what was really funny is I was watching Kimber, which I thought was fantastic. I thought Kimber Bell Day was super fun. If you weren't able to watch, I think they posted a link for it, so there you can watch it until the 4th. So if you weren't able to watch it, you can still watch it, and I have that link. I sent it to somebody, so if you need it, let me know and I'll send it to you, or maybe I'll send it out to the Kimber Bell email list if you want me to. But I was a little is this gonna just be a big sales pitch? I thought it was super fun. The stack and whack I thought was super fun, and
you've got to watch it by Saturday, Margaret. That's all the time you've got. So if you haven't watched it, then the email I think said Saturday. So today is the 1st.
I think it said the 4th.
2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, that would be Friday. So you've got until Friday. So don't wait.
So, but yeah, it was super fun, and it was nice. You got to see who worked for Kimber Bell. You got to see their warehouse. You got to work on some projects. So overall, I thought it was a fun event.
So the other thing that we'll just address really quickly, and the reality is we just don't want to beat the dead horse. A lot of you got emails from us over the weekend. We hope that addressed any kind of simple questions that you have. The other, we actually have had, you guys received a couple of emails, and we've had a couple of people call and go, well, how did, this other place get our email? That had nothing to do with us. And it is what it is. If anybody's got questions, comments, concerns about the email that we sent out, reach out to the store. Would be happy to talk with you. You guys know Tuesdays are crazy because there are Mondays, but would be happy to address that. And, quite frankly, we feel tons of love and tons of support given the response to everything that's gone on. And we love and appreciate that. So that'll be great. And so let's see.
All right. If you guys are okay with it.
I put like stacks of stuff back here to deal with them, and then you move them. And so
if you're okay with it, I am going to send out that link to everybody. And we are doing the confetti table topper challenge. So Michelle and I are working on it right now just to fine tune it. It's going to run for the entire month. It's going to be a jury of your peers. There'll be a survey sheet that you're going to be able to vote. We'll do those two categories, most creative and best quilting, where the focus will be the quilting, and the other one where it's just the all-around most creative. I'm excited because I've been on Facebook and I've been seeing what everyone's posting, and I love it. I just love that you could take something that's so simple, because really the stack and whack is pretty simple and fun, and that you can embellish and just make it yours. And I think it's like something that's not going to be too overwhelming, that everyone can participate in. So, so look for that in like the next couple of days, but you'll have the whole month of August to work on it.
So, and yeah, I'm sure other people got that email. It is what it is. Hopefully you got our email too. So, let's talk about some questions. And listen, it's always really weird when I like cherry pick stuff, because what happens is the next time I see somebody whose question I didn't answer, they're like, you didn't pick my question. And so, listen, this isn't a personal thing. Like, I'm cherry picking the questions that I feel like I can answer most effectively, most quickly. And we're already 10 minutes into the live stream here. So, so let's just go through and see, looking to have a travel and sewing and embroidery machine, something with a 6x10 hoop and a thread cutter. Suggestions. Thank you. That isn't a technical question. Miss Linda Smith, I've got
a
closeout machine.
We'll reach out to Miss Linda
will you
Smith.
make a note?
Yep.
You won the question. Is there an easy way to use your website shopping?
I don't know.
I don't browse our website. But you can use categories, and you can go through and just basically if you're looking for sewing machines, you can look up the category sewing machines. If you're looking, so you should be able to look through categories, keyword searches, same as you would on any website. And it is pretty well cataloged and categorized and tagged. So just use keyword searches. You can browse and spend some time and see what we've got. And I always am amazed by stuff that's bought online. And like sometimes I'm like, wow, we have that. I didn't even realize we have that. And
we are still working.
Not just don't even bother.
Ooh,
so,
okay.
How often should an embroidery machine such as the Luminaire 3 be serviced?
Good question.
That's a simple one. In our environment here, and I speak to our environment because this is the environment we know, and I would count our environment, quite frankly, even as like Central Valley, because it's kind of dry and hot I always say 18 months or 3 million stitches. There's a simple reason for that 3 million stitches, because that is a number that we actually came up with the folks at Baby Lock, because we were seeing machines that were sewing backwards. This is for sewing and embroidery machines. And that was specific to her question. The Luminaire is the top of the line brother sewing machine. 3 million stitch is important because, quite frankly, I rarely see. So on sewing machines, it's 1 million stitches. But what happens is when you're embroidering, your feed dogs lower and they flip down. There's a cam that does that. And it is possible to build up enough debris and enough stuff in that area that when that cam goes to flip back up and to raise your feed dogs, the cam gets stuck and then the machine either sews in place or sews in reverse. When we changed our instructions to customers to service their machines every 3 million stitches, that problem more or less disappeared. It was something that we ran into a bunch with a machine called the Destiny. And once we started giving that advice, the problem went away. So that's why we say 3 million. And it is, that's the service interval. And quite frankly, I think it's been adopted by a lot of dealers and I think it's great. My brother machine says don't oil. Is that really true? There's not really a place for you to oil your machine, Pam. That's something that we do. There's self-lubricated bushings in the machine. It's important for us to do that because we have to take the machine apart to get to there. Are you still going to be able to service my Baby Lock serger machine? Absolutely. I still have the best techs in Northern Nevada, and I actually put them against anybody in Northern California as well. So let's see. Currently have a Janome Gem Gold. Interested in purchasing smaller combo machines. So Dwayne Howard, would you please make a note there too? We will reach out to you regarding that. Hope you had a great, but Sarah's sending out a letter. Yeah, I will.
Yes, we
can
know
you advise? Yeah, we're aware of that. We sent the emails out. The reality is we can still service your machines. What would you recommend for a multi-needle embroidery machine?
Should some of these people aren't on our email list?
Yeah, just we'll go through that later. Like questions that aren't like super technical in nature, I'm going to kind of skip over. Rolling cabinet has wheels. Cutting top. Notice when I roll it around, the middle plate has a screw attaching it to the wood base.
Main differences. What are the main differences? That's kind of a
that's
question.
A big question.
So Colleen asked, what are the main differences between the Luminaire?
Is this Colleen?
This is Colleen right here.
Oh, okay.
Between the Luminaire and the Stellaire, it's like
it is a massive difference.
Between.
So just make a note and I'll call Colleen.
Okay, Miss Colleen, we'll call you.
Best mini vacuum to use to clean an embroidery machine. Can be easily resolved with troubleshooting with you. So somebody made the comment that like they troubleshoot with me. And the reality is, and this is something I realized over the weekend on Sunday, like sometimes something happens that just reaffirms something that you're already thinking. But the reality is, we know what we're talking about. So like, it's amazing how many times, somebody reaches out and goes, this is the problem I'm having. My local dealer can't help me. And I go, I think this is your problem. And like a couple of days later, I get an email saying, yes, that was the problem. Thank you so much. And sometimes you guys don't like my answers.
Sometimes I don't like his answers either. Like when it's later. Don't bother me right now. I don't like that one either.
This is actually a really good question that Cheryl just asked. Like your machine sitting unused is tough on the machine. Oil tends to go where the gravity is. You get areas where the oil doesn't sit. When there's metal on metal, you get galvanic corrosion that can create spots in the machine where the machine gets sticky or where the machine doesn't want to operate or it's just not super smooth. I don't know if there's really like a service interval from like a how often should I use the machine. But I think it's important to acknowledge that not using a machine. This is one of the things that I run into at the service table all the time. Somebody comes in with like a 6-year-old machine and they go, but it's brand new. I never used it. Yeah, but it sat for 6 years. And so that sitting for 6 years is sometimes tougher on the machine than being used with relative frequency. I mean, the reality is if you've got the option, you should use it. Can I do the Marion Bright with a magnetic 6x10 hoop?
Yes. So you could do that, but I would just do it in the 5x7. Those tile scenes, each block is made to be in a 6x7. I'm sorry, 5x7. So you're just going to be kind of wasting stabilizer or more material. I would just stick to the 5x7. And personally, I like, although I have to get the 5x7 magnetic hoop with all of the magnets on it. I need to do that. I like the regular hoops because I feel like the hooping is so much tighter and more stable. I feel like when you're doing the tiling, sometimes not Marion Bright, that one doesn't have a heavy stitch count, but the other ones that have a lot of thread, as it stitches, the fabric pulls in a little bit. I would worry about it like distorting and pulling it a little bit more with the magnetic hoop. I'd be more apt to use the new magnetic hoop that has all the clamps that go on, or to use the just the regular hoop that came with the machine. I feel like that's going to be more snug and more secure. I would use the 5x7. And I tried to do it in my 8x14. I was like, oh, I'm going to load it up and do like multiples at a time. I didn't like that either because I felt like it pulled in the fabric. And I would just do one at a time.
So do you have to use the purple dot bobbin case when you embroider? So that's actually a really good question. I don't believe you do. And I don't think that's something that we really recommend using.
I thought that was just a...
So here's the thing. I've had a lot of people come into the store and tell us that their instructor, not at my store, but their instructor at another store has told them to use the purple dot. And the other piece of that is I have also seen that posted on bulletin boards. Like it used to be that I had enough time to take a look at the Baby Lock and Brother bulletin boards for the Solaris and the Luminaire, and I would try to answer technical questions when I could. And that was something I saw all the time. Somebody would go, I have a problem with my embroidery. And people would be like, use the purple dot. The purple dot embroidery case is actually non-demarked, meaning it's set at the factory, but it's not glued shut. It's one that you can actually control your tension on. That's how we advise to use it. And our experience, and it's funny, we were at a multi-line dealer on Saturday. Somebody who carries like kind of everything. And hands down, without a doubt, he commented that nobody comes close. He basically was like, the Luminaire is the machine. Nobody even comes close to the Luminaire and the Solaris. Same machine. So it's
and he was
and he sells everything. We're just not gonna name
he sells
who it
everything.
was. And he was like, nobody comes close. They just are set up to work. And that's been our experience with those standard bobbin cases. I think you should be fine to use the factory set, what we call the green dot bobbin cases, which is fine. Did you get Lori Dyseth regarding a little machine to take to class?
Nope.
Somebody else asked, I heard it's bad to let a sewing machine sit for an extended period of time. It is. I just answered that. Life expectancy of a sewing machine. Excellent question. And hers essentially was a question based around, can I expect to use the machine when I pay it off in 5 or 6 years? This is what I always tell people about life expectancy of a sewing machine. It's like a car. The more you drive, like that's going to affect life expectancy. It's also going to expect the kind of repairs and the kind of things you need to do to keep the machine up and running. where we start recommending what I call modular replacement is at about 20 to 25 million stitches. And so what happens is you start to actually see the metal wear on the machines. And just to highlight, this is not a service issue or a warranty issue, because the reality is this is a use issue. And I've had people ask me that too. Most people, it's going to be many, many years. Like strong hobbyist users put about 3 million stitches on their machine a year. If you're putting significantly greater numbers on your machine here in the Reno area, then the reality is we're going to talk to you about things like multi-needles, or maybe even a second machine to offload some of that stitch count. And the reason for that is between 20 and 25 million stitches, we frequently see machines where the needle bar modules and the feed dog modules have enough wear where there's play, and everything needs to be essentially tight and accurate for the machines to work properly. That said, you can replace those modules. They're expensive repairs, but as Jeannie says, cry once. Like, when you come in and we talk about those repairs, a lot of times I'm like, listen, if I'm going to take this thing all apart and I've got to redo all the things I need to do to replace all this stuff, let's just get it all done at once. And the reality is, if it's like a Solaris or a Luminaire or a Dream Machine or a Destiny or like a Stellaire, these are $10,000 plus machines. Putting a couple $1,000s into the machines to make them work the way they did when they were new is a small price to pay to keep the machine up and running. And I've seen machines where I've replaced modules on more than once. Like, we had a very, very heavy user that had a Quattro, which was like an Elissimo, that we replaced her needle bar module and her feed dog module twice. She had over 100 million stitches on the machine. And the reality is, when she traded it back to me, I was able to sell the machine. I told the customer high stitch count. I showed her everything that we'd done to the machine, the service history on the machine, and I sold the machine. And the customer was really excited because she got like a machine that normally sells for, at the time they were selling between $2,500 and $3,000 for about $1,200. But the machine worked just fine. I've seen the machine since, and it's working just fine. Did you get my email? Hearing you were one of the 2 dealers that won. Running even after I take a dirt nap. Well, hopefully that's not anytime soon when you're in the ground. Great news. Freight order from Unique Furniture is due tomorrow. I'm waiting for my life-changing experience. Wait until you see it. It's going to be beautiful, April.
Lila got your email.
So, the Renata comments that Synchrony, after you pay off your card, they close your account. The reality is, if your account sits unused for a long period of time, they will make the account inactive, and then they will close your account. I don't know if that really significantly messes up your credit score, but I guess, depending upon the chemistry of your credit score, it might possibly do that. The easy way to not do that is to make use of the card every handful of months and keep it active and take advantage of that 6 months same as cash. Weight thread for Luminaire Embroidery. They are spec'd 460 weight. So Katie Martin.
The bobbin?
Yeah.
But how about the upper?
Is that we use 40
most
weight.
of the time, but your machine's gonna run great with a 40 weight and lighter. A 30 weight, mine runs great with a 30 weight too. When you get heavier, that's when I think you really it's more, you might have to make some adjustments. The machine, I think, is probably spec for 40 in the top, 60 in the bottom. 60 to 80 in the bottom. Like that's the perfect combination. A little bit lighter in your bobbin than your upper.
Okay, so this is actually a really interesting question because I already know what Connie's problem is. Connie asks, on my new SE 1900, the instructions say the line of the wheel needs to be straight up. Now that's what happens when you use your needle down, needle up button. It puts that line on the wheel straight up. She says, I have to back mine up a touch for the needle threader to work. Is that okay? No, it's not. That means your needle's not up all the way. And so, and this is something we see all the time. When the needle, so when you back up, if you do that on your machine, what you'll notice is the needle goes up a little bit. And so what that means is your needle bar is either out of alignment, which I doubt is the case, but when you put your needle in, you didn't get it up all the way. So loosen your needle, push it up that much further. Everybody always goes, I know it's up. It's not up all the way. There's a window there. It's hard to see. Our eyes get worse as we get older. I'm not saying you're old, Connie. You got to address everything in the live stream.
Patrick has started getting, since I was 35, I've been getting letters.
I just got my AARP card.
Yeah, so, he's finally getting them. Because why have I been getting them since I was 35?
It's because you're older.
Because I'm mature.
So
mature.
So
and now they
Connie,
figure he's mature enough.
If you're watching this, what you need to do is you need to loosen, you need to push it up a little bit, and then you need to tighten it down. Your needle's not up all the way. And that's why it works when you move it up, but not why when it's down. Is she bringing the dog?
Puppy.
No. Kai's at home.
Yeah, is Kai home?
Kai can walk the dog today. Violet doesn't need to guard the fact that she can walk the dog when it's just Poppy, like Kai gets today.
Did you hear that?
So it makes no sense to have her here. So
why?
No, that I will deal with Kai. That's totally fine.
Bye.
So
Dad'll deal with it.
So
do you it's kind of like is it a year without a Santa and heat miser and cold miser, and then Mother Nature has to deals with both of them? That's what we have in our house. This Mother Nature right here.
So Nula asks, next year when the new machines are out, will you be taking baby locks in on trade? Oh, at a deal that you will not believe.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There is nothing wrong with your baby lock machine. It's fantastic.
So here's a tech question. Stellar XE1 Kingstar thread messing up automatic needle threader. You shouldn't be using your automatic needle threader.
I do.
With metallic thread. Metallic thread has a metallic strand that's wound around a polyester core that can get caught on your needle threader and mess it up. Don't use your needle threader when you could you go answer a phone
metallic.
And let me answer a couple other ones.
Metallic.
When you use metallic. Annetta, just call the store. Are the bobbins the same size for brother and baby lock machines? It depends upon the machine, but as most of them are the same machines, absolutely. And then let's see, Annetta, I just need to call. Will you make a note for me to call Annetta? I just need to call Annetta.
I will make a note.
What is the best needle to use for embroidery? NQ1600E. Our favorite embroidery needle, and somebody else asked the question. Not that I skipped over it, Jeannie. You're like caught here. Not that I was skipping over it, but I was going to address it at some point when somebody asked about needles. Our favorite needle is the Oregon anti-glue needle. Not only is it excellent performance in the 7511s, and we sell them, it's what we sell in the store as our embroidery needles, but they do help that issue of getting, somebody said, what do you use to keep your needle from getting gummed up? You use an anti-glue needle. and we sell them. Let's see. I've answered that. What stitch count? 10 needle machines are tough on like 10 needles, 6 needles, and the personas and or alliance machines. That's a tough question. The reason for that is, hang on one second. Carolyn Lee, call Carolyn Lee. So, you've got the, your service interval, your stated service interval on the multi-needle machines. I think if there is one in the manual, and I'm not convinced that there is one these days, but the service interval in the service manual, I believe, says 1,500 hours. The reason that I discredit that is a tremendous amount of stitches. And the reality is, I believe that, hey, Michelle, could you make sure that the door is open? The reason that when customers in my store ask me what random comment picker, when people ask me that in my store, what I say is, if you're going to set a reminder, because I believe you can set a reminder on those machines in the service menu. I always tell folks, set it around 1,000 hours. And so
really, you can set a reminder for
what's
the
that?
multi-needle?
I think so. It may be in diagnostics that you can set that reminder.
Okay.
That said, like, I like to set it around 1,000 hours. The reality is, for most people, and you ladies have mama ears, you know your machines, you let's see, congrats on the big win. I do also, even on my 10 needle, to not use the needle threader. Oops. Okay. So on the multi-needles, around 1,000 hours, in our experience, you're going to notice stuff like the cuts just aren't as clean. Maybe the machine has trouble bedding down. Maybe the machine sounds a little different. So, I mean, there is some at-home service on those machines, but like, I don't really go by stitch count. In the recent years, quite frankly, I think it seems kind of apparent to me that, like, your machine, it's like 14 to 16 million stitches. I feel like something goes on where I'm like, let's just take it in and get it serviced. So that's a tough one. But I don't think, I don't think, I'd rather see machines over-serviced than under-serviced, because the reality is it saves you money when we preemptively deal with problems. One of the things that does happen in this environment is machines get dry. And Teresa Day, it's not a bad idea. I think the manufacturers just recommend getting your machine serviced every year. So the reality is, it's not a bad idea to service your machine every year. I always say 18 months or 3 million stitches on those embroidery machines. We're looking forward to seeing you too. So I think that, I don't even think I made it halfway through those comments.
Yeah.
By the way,
we'll just do it again because
there are obviously a lot of questions there.
And I go on to I'm on a lot of the blogs when I before I go to bed, I'll look. I really don't make that many comments, but I see a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of it where somebody's having an issue with their machine and they'll be and there's some great answers. There's also a lot of misinformation.
like
So,
bad information.
yeah.
And if anybody has seen me on those bulletin boards, like I can be somewhat frank sometimes. Like we don't have a ton of time. And so a lot of times, like if I am answering questions there, and Connie, you were one of the folks, I think I answered your question, but I have a list? Was she on the list of people to call? So, if you saw me on those, sometimes I'm like, absolutely don't do that. That shouldn't be part of your solution here. This should be part of your solution.
Connie too?
I don't know. I think I was answering one of Connie's Supernauts questions.
I feel like you told me to put somebody on there and I forgot. I did try to go through my emails. If you've sent me an email and you didn't get a response, email me again. Last night I was, and this weekend I tried to sit down and go through my emails.
So, okay. So we
Giveaway?
are going to do the giveaway. What are we giving away today?
So we're going to give away some dime products. And, here we go. These are thread quartets. And aren't these nice? This one is called Majestic Sunset. And it gives you a nice array of orange and yellows. And then this one is called Useful Yellows. And this is so useful because sometimes you don't have the yellow you want. Well, you're probably going to have it here because it gives you something it gives you a variegated and a light, I think these are variegated on the end, are they? No, they're not. But a lemon yellow, an orangish yellow, a brighter yellow. So when you can't find that perfect yellow, now you'll be able to. So we're going to give away these two with, dun, dun, dun. Whoever gets this is going to have to tell me if they love it or not. So I got this to kind of just check it out. This is for your stabilizer. So if there's a certain stabilizer you absolutely love, you can just put it here in the roll. It's like for saran wrap.
Almost like
you
a toilet paper or tissue dispenser.
You pull it through and then it says place cutter here. So there's a cutter. So you can just run the cutter across. Isn't that convenient? So I would say, for me, I'm not sure if this is because I use so many different, but if there was one that I loved and used all the time, I think that's what you should put in here and let me know if you absolutely love it. If you guys love it, we'll carry them. I think this is kind of great, right?
I think it's cool.
I think you're going to love it.
All right. So it's one giveaway and it's this.
It's one giveaway. And if you're not local, you do have to pay for shipping. And then, so channel your inner winner. Let's see.
Yeah, for those of you, if there's anybody that's watching, we do the giveaways on Friday. They happen in the comments in YouTube, which are down here. So if you're watching on Facebook, you've got to go over to YouTube. We have a channel at A1 Reno Vac and Sew. If you're out of town, you still win the product, but you pay the actual shipping to get the product to you. And you've got to pay attention on Tuesdays because if you win and we don't know you, we reach out to you online.
I still haven't heard from, and I tried to find contact information for Candace Coates. Candace Coates, if you're there, you need to call me because you won a fan last week.
So, 75 watching, but only 7 thumbs ups. Yeah,
what
and don't forget,
do?
That means you like the video. That basically will push us up in the algorithm. It also changes your algorithm and makes sure you see more content like this.
Did you put us on Facebook too?
We're on Facebook too. You can like us on Facebook as well. The other thing that you can do is subscribe to the channel, meaning anytime we go live, sew-alongs, etc., you'll see it. And then you hit that little bell icon. That'll notify you when we do it. So let's go ahead and pull this up because I've got people walking in the store and start. Lady Fair. I've heard.
Lady Fair.
Is that LaDonna?
Yes, it is.
I've heard that it's bad to let a sewing machine sit. So we answered that question too. Cheryl asked it as well. It's funny because they were the similar. One was an Aventura, the other was an NQ 3700. Very similar machines. And that, thank you, Heather. And LaDonna, congratulations. We'll reach out and let you know that you won here. I'm going to get going. Was there anything else you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I did want to talk to you about a couple of things. Number one, we got a ton of event orders. So if you are, yeah, if you're doing, if you did an event order, we're going to be working to fill that this week. Some of the product we're going to have to order because there was, like I said, a ton of event orders. And we'll reach out to you. These are the 2 bonus CDs that you're qualifying for. So these are the CDs. If you have both of these, because some of you always do all the Kimber Bell events, and you're doing Treats for My Boo, you can just tell me you want to apply that to Treats for My Boo, which is going to be on the 11th. We sent out a whole bunch of those kits. We're getting more today, so we'll be sending those out. And the Treats for My Boo, oh, I meant to grab that. Let me show you. It's cute. Treats for My Boo. If you've never done a treat, Rolo, this one's yours. If you've never done treats, an event before, this is what you're gonna get with Treats for My Boo. We also kit it with the stabilizer, so you're gonna get all the stabilizer you need, the Shape Flex, everything's gonna be in there. Topper, Kimber Bell includes. So this is Treats for My Boo, and if you're looking to do the CD for that, this is what's gonna be the event bonus CD for Treats for My Boo, and this is what the back looks like. Here you go. So you get an idea. So like I said, if you don't want those and you're doing Treats for My Boo, just let me know. And I can, that'll be your qualifying CD. As far as how long can you do your order, let's wrap it up. If it's for a Kimber Bell event, do in the next couple of days, and we're going through all the orders and we'll reach out to you. I did have somebody get one of their orders that didn't have your bonus CD in there. So we're working our hardest to cover all bases. So this is what happens. I get your order. I check it. I check all your orders to see what you've done for July. I go back through your order, see if we have to make you any credits. I check to see if you've qualified for the CD. I reach out if you haven't put it on there and see which one you want, and then I try to figure out your credit. So it's kind of like takes a while to do each one. So if we miss a step, just let us know. Like just reach out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, Stephanie. Saw that. Congratulations to you. Welcome from New Zealand. Go World Cup. We have, if you've ordered, I don't even have a sample to show you. If you have ordered the reusable snack bag, class is on Friday. We're doing a Zoom class on Friday. And what else was I going to say about that? Oh, your design. And we're talking Kimber Bell digital dealer, August design, reusable snack sandwich bag. That's going to be available for your download should be available for you today. So just always remember, it's always the first of the month. So even if you bought that design on the 10th of July, you didn't get it until today. And if you don't get yours, reach out and let me know, because all digital dealer people, those are the people that paid for the year. You automatically, I don't enter your information, but I do enter the people who do buy a la carte. Extra folding. Are they? I hope they're not sold. I don't think they're sold out, Marlene, because I just got like 20 more of those. Is there another CD? If so, there is a. So the 2 CDs, these 2, were from. This one was from Winter Wonderland. And this one was from Home Sweet Haunted Home. So those were the bonus. You did your $100 order for one, $200 order for both. This CD is for Treats for My Boo, which is their brand new Halloween event. And it's the same thing. It's always $100 retail. And then we always, like, if we can, we discount it. And Rolo said she already got her design, so I think she's good. But if you did not get your reusable snack bag, let me know. Let's see what's going on in the calendar. Tomorrow, Michelle is doing Solaire Luminaire Did I say that right? Solaris. Solaire. I said Solaire. Okay, think brain. Come on, let me massage it. Okay. There's a lot that's been going on here. The Luminaire and Solaris sewing features. Do you like this, what I just did? If you purchase your machine through us, that class is free. You can repeat it as many times as you want. So if you had your machine for 2 years, you're like, I just need a refresher, just call us. We can put you in that store. If you didn't get your machine from us, you can still take the class. Just sign up online. It should be online under calendar and classes. Friday is going to be the Zoom class for the reusable bag, and then Friday afternoon I am doing a Serger 1. So if you have a Serger, you don't know how to use it, and you want to take a Serger 1 class, I go over the basic stitches, 4-thread overlock, 3-thread, rolled edge, blanket stitch, flat lock, and narrow hem. So we do all of those. Super fun class, hands-on. You'll love it. I love it. We have a good time. Oh, do you want to pitch it tomorrow? Let's pitch it tomorrow. We're going to talk tomorrow about Software 101 because Michelle's starting that. When does it start?
First Monday after Labor Day, so I think that's the 7th.
Yeah. You want to take that class. If you have software, you've never opened it, you don't know how to use it. What we were told, because we had somebody that took Michelle's series, it's 10 classes. It's every week for 10 weeks, 2 hours a week. And then we had somebody who did the software getaway through Baby Lock, and she was like, I knew everything from taking Michelle's class. That's how good it is. So, and you don't have to travel. You, it's a once a week, and it's Zoom, so you can be anywhere in the country. So get ready for that. Yeah, you'll absolutely love it, and you'll want to get signed up for that. She's gonna, I think we'll talk about it tomorrow and maybe show you some samples about what you're gonna do. And then next week, there's a whole bunch of classes next week. I will let you know about the next sew along. I put it tentatively on the schedule for next week for the, I'm in July. I put it tentatively on the schedule for the 7th, but I think that's when we're going to do Cuties, September, Table Topper. And then we have to squeeze in another falling into autumn. The software does not apply just to palette. It applies to palette 11 and PE Design 11. I think we're just going to do that for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow with some exciting announcements, and we will see you then.